You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry Sanderson on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
In the East, beat the Capitals 4-1. Panthers scored 2 in the third period, get by the Lightning 3-2. Jets outlast the Avalanche 7-6. Canucks beat the Predators 4-2.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning and welcome into a Monday edition of, a chilly actually, Monday edition of Inside the Locker. Supposed to warm up a little bit, but I think it was 39 walking out of the house this morning, so had to click the heat on a little bit this morning. 205-342-9904 if you want to get in on the show with us today. We'd love to have you. The X accounts at Locker Room 109 at Barry Sanderson and at Wimp Sanderson 1. Our email for the show, Wimp and Barry at yahoo.com. We talk about the app. Download the app. There's a chat button in the app. You can send us a message there, but you also can take us with you anywhere you go. But it has to last. It has to be tough. Withstand the elements year after year. When it comes to building outdoors, it doesn't come any tougher than Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine from great Southern Wood. For projects to stand up against Mother Nature's best, be sure to head on down to your local dealer for Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine, the lumber that protects against rot, fungal decay, and termite attack. Get only the best for your next outdoor project, and always remember, if it doesn't have that yellow tag on it, then believe me, you don't want it. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Justin. How you guys doing this morning?
We're okay. Several things. Scotty Scheffler going through 15. Number 15 has a 5-shot lead on 4 people. Should be, should win, but you never know. You get up early in the morning and try to play. Sometimes it's not what it was the day before, but we'll know about that because they start back at 8 o'clock, and they're not in our time zone, so it's probably 7 o'clock our time. So Lee Hodges was -1. JT played a little bit better. He ended up -14. There are four or five guys -15. Nick played poorly again. Plus, one of the few pluses, the tournament was played fairly easy. Everybody had pretty darn good scores, so we'll see what happens there. Manning had 3 touchdowns in the spring game. I'm sure we'll hear about that today. Kentucky got the Williams kid from Drexel, who's supposed to be a very good player in basketball. Nelly Corda really is a great player. This is her 5th straight tournament victory, which is tournament victory, which is ties the what's her name for doing that. I played golf with one of those girls one time. They were terrific to play with. Graham Nicholson, most Lou Groza Award winner, is cleared to go. He's going. Of course, they need somebody with Will gone to be the place kicker for Alabama next year. He's going to transfer in, which was big. Tyler Reddick won at Talladega. A big win for him. Of course, that goes down to the last turn, and he won on the last turn. In football next year, one player with a green dot on his helmet can talk to the coach on the sideline during the game. He'd be a designated player. They are also going to allow you to have a tablet on the sideline so that you could view videos on the sideline that they've not had before. This is a little bit, y'all, about being a little bit like the NFL, sort of going back to those ideas there. So we'll see how that goes. I guess it's going to be okay. In basketball again, Holloway Holloway, Aiden Holloway, is Trey Donaldson is going to Michigan, but Holloway is going, I think, to Alabama. 3-point shooter. They've already gotten Chris Youngblood from South Florida, and the kid Houston Malik from out west. So they've got some good players there. The big kid at Hoover, Dwayne, I believe it's Barron. I believe that's right. I'm wrong.
Brown. Dwayne
Brown. I'm sorry. I couldn't believe I'm right, Barry. 6'9", big kid. I saw him play a couple of times. They liked him a great deal from the very beginning. When I went out to see Barry play a couple of times, I just happened to visit with his coach, and he said that, boy, it worked for me. And that worked for Tennessee. He's been in there a lot. So he's committed to Tennessee. So we'll see. AJ, you know who I like so well, had 35 passes complete, I think it was, in St. Louis in the United Football League, beat Memphis, which was good. So we've got a lot of changing around by players. Some of it's good, some of it's questionable. We'll see what happens. Kid going from and Skarbinski made a big deal out of it. Kid going from Auburn to Alabama. I'm sure the kid's good. I don't know how good. I don't know about that. He's okay. I do think that, brother, when you play hard against each other to start with, Alabama and Auburn. When you find a player on the other team who starts, you play double hard. I mean, if you're Auburn, you really play double hard, and that doesn't mean anything, of course, but just kind of interesting. I know that's what happens to you when somebody leaves your team, goes and plays in your big rival. Those are little things that I've told you. Most of them are correct, and we'll let Barry say whatever.
Yeah, Aiden Holloway, he's from Charlotte. Only red flag on him is in 4 years he's gone to 4 schools. He was at Covenant in Charlotte, then went to a school out in Indiana in 21-22. Then he went to Prolific Prep in 22-23 in California. Auburn signed him out of there, played there, and now he's transferred to Alabama. So he likes to move around a lot. Dad and Justin, sometimes those are red flags. I don't like him. In his interview, saying he was promised a dream at Auburn with Bruce Pearl, pretty much taking shots at Bruce Pearl. Just transfer and thank Auburn and move on to the next one. Trey Donaldson did not do that, so that would be on my only red flag. I think the kid is a good passer. Did not shoot a great percentage from three. Wasn't horrible. He was 30%, 57 for 100. He got to take 172 threes, so I don't. He took 258 shots, which was third on the team. So he had plenty of opportunity. So I don't know why. And they won the SEC. People forget that Auburn won the SEC tournament. So they had a pretty good year there. So anyway, it'd be interesting to see, though, if Sears comes back, then you're going to be kind of sharing minutes. There you got Reitzel back, looks like. So if he's coming off the bench behind Sears, he ain't going to beat out Sears. No way if Sears comes back. So be interesting to see how he.
Undoubtedly, Alabama told him Sears wasn't coming back.
So we'll see.
I mean, you got to do that.
Yeah, but do you think that's a slam dunk that he's not coming back? Sears?
I think it's over 50%, 75% that he's not coming back. If you tell him a point guard from your that you're trying to recruit that already transferred 4 times, yeah.
Well, I mean, would you tell him that? I don't know if you told him that or not, because he might come back. If he say he's not coming back and he comes back, then you're not.
Well, my question from him would be to the coach, who always coming back. That's my question.
Yeah. So anyway, they've taken transfer from Pepperdine. Obviously, they got this kid. They got the 2 McDonald's All-Americans coming in. So there's about at a full roster. I think they have one more scholarship available. I did see where Sam Walters visited Michigan. So it doesn't look like the school, Michigan and Ohio State. So I know we had talked about him maybe going back close to home, but he goes to Michigan. I obviously that's not that close to.
I know you talk about. I think the 12 minutes bothers people who think they're really good.
Yeah, I think 12 minutes. Maybe he doesn't understand. 12 minutes is a pretty good bit as a true freshman on a team that went to the Final Four. But anyway, there's be a lot of roster turnover there. They did pick up Aiden Holloway, and I don't like the way he left. I think it will juice up that rivalry a little bit. I thought, like when the Flanagan kid left and went to Ole Miss, I don't think he said anything, so he didn't get a ton of flack. But when Alabama goes back to Auburn, that will be quite a scene there. Do you think you should, guys, Justin, do you think you should be able to transfer within the conference? Do you like that, being able to go with it from SEC? The Alabama's had baseball guys. They're LSU starting Friday night pitcher was at Alabama. They had a kid go to Florida.
I thought we had a rule that they couldn't at one time. I guess we did.
Justin?
Well, Coach, I know there is a rule.
Well, there is a rule for football. So after you go through spring training, which we just went through, you cannot go to another SEC school now because you just went through and learned the entire system, and so they're not going to let you go within the league now.
I really don't know. It's interesting because when you look at the comparison is pro sports, of course, when you look at free agency and transferring, typically you don't, trade or send players to a divisional rival, which is basically what the SEC is. I don't really like it. I don't know how you stop it, but I don't really like it.
Are you, Dad? If they're going to let them go, are you okay going conference within the conference? Is that okay?
No, I'm not. I don't like that. I think it's just too much stink arises. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't like being able to move as much, and certainly within the league. So you bring a kid from Alabama to Auburn to Alabama. I don't know. There's been a lot of smack talk on Twitter about it, but we'll see as we'll get going next year. Trey Donaldson's the other kid that he's going to Michigan. The other kid from, and then KD Johnson is going to George Mason. Does that surprise you? He's going kind of down to a mid-major level. KD Johnson.
Sure does. I thought he would try to. Coaches don't know how to take him.
Yeah.
The latter part of the game, he can do some really great things for you, but he also can get your fanny beat. So I don't think coaches know exactly how to take him. I don't think they were lined up to take him when he decided to leave. He left, I'm sure, because of money, because of the lack of money from Auburn. When Auburn gives them, this is what happened with these other kids. It's what you were promised, what you thought. You could just tell that from the first thing said about the kid that's going to Michigan. He didn't get what he was offered. He didn't say that, but he did say it in a way.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll go ahead and take this first break. Up the phone lines, 205-342-9904. 2-minute truck. They're at 1330 Martin Road East. That's where you go pick up your boxes, your packing supplies, whatever you need to make this a smooth move, whether it's out of town, out of state, locally. You just need two guys to come help you at the house. They'll do whatever you need and take great care of you. Give them a call today, 205-247-5050. That's 2-minute truck movers who care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. The drive this morning remains on the quiet side. Some minimal backup beginning, but nothing that'll hold you up for very long. If you're traveling along Highway 69 up from Hale County to the Tuscaloosa region, the drive along 2059 from Foster's to Cottondale and McFarland Boulevard all remain in good shape at this stage of the morning drive. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa Thread.
Good Monday morning. During the meeting tomorrow afternoon, the Tuscaloosa City Council Finance Committee is expected to consider offering an incentives package for a mixed-use development on the blighted former McFarland Mall property in South Tuscaloosa. That package is expected to include tax abatements for revenue. That property is owned by local businessman and
MartyPets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunshine in full supply today. The high 68. Tonight fair with the low at 43. The weather stays dry tomorrow and Wednesday. Partly to mostly sunny both days with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 75. The high Wednesday 78. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 41 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Catch every game and every moment right here. This is your home of Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside Locker Room. Yellowwood pressure treated pine from Great Southern. Going to build the 5-star backyard. Build it to last. Go to yellowwood.com to find the dealer that's closest to you. If you get on the Golf Channel, Dad, they're actually playing right now. Scheffler's just finished 16. He's 20 under. Thigala's just finished 17. He's 16 under. So Scheffler's going to win again. Have we seen a run like this in golf? I can't remember. Maybe Tiger had a run like this at one time. But, yes, Justin, this is an amazing run right here.
Well, Coach mentioned it. It's Nelly Korda on the other side with the women at the same time.
Did she win? She won again over the weekend, correct? Yeah. How many is that in a row for her? 5. Wow. Have we seen a run like this? What Scheffler's doing right now? When is the last time?
I can't recall before my time, which is a long time ago, that they won 5 in a row. That's possible it happened, but I can't recall it. No doubt about it. It's a big deal.
Yeah, he's dominating golf right now. I guess his wife.
They probably made the kind of money she made winning 5 that he made in 1.
Yeah, yeah. His prize money right now this year alone, just prize money, he's made $15,093,000, and so you're going to pick up another $3 million today. So he's going to be over $18 million in prize money in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's a guy that doesn't say much, stays out of the limelight. No yakking between players with him. As Justin has said, as Doug Bell has said, plays golf, goes home, practices, goes back, plays golf more. Got an old car he drives. Just had their first child, or fixing to have their first child. Just did. I think it just did. And Texas graduate, Digger will be calling in.
Yeah. No, he hasn't had the child yet. That's why they made a big deal at the Masters, but I think it's not until the end of the month. So,
I think they made a big deal.
Child will get some gold booties. All right, get to the Yellowwood hotline. Get Philip in. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, guys. It's cold today. Woo.
Yeah, it is cold. Keep all your wardrobe. You'll start peeling off clothes as the day goes on.
Yeah. Hey, you guys may have mentioned I missed your opening remarks, but big pickup for the Tide in football with the kicker from Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Yeah, Graham Nicholson hit 26 of 27 field goals. 26 of 27 or 27 of 20. Missed one last year at Miami of Ohio. Now, he'll be a little bit different as far as pressure kicks at Alabama, but the kid evidently has got quite a foot.
Absolutely, but I think that's a really nice pickup for Coach DeBoer, and is going to be really helpful to the team. The Aiden Holloway situation, I'm like you, Barry. I think he's a really good passer and can distribute the ball and can make some beautiful plays in that respect. But he didn't shoot all that great. But the funny thing about it, I remember distinctly back, I don't know, it may have been late February, and Bruce Pearl was he gushed about what a great shooter he was and how great he had been shooting. And then I don't know what happened, but, I definitely remember Pearl saying that.
Yeah.
He didn't get what he was promised, is what's happened.
One of my players is Bruce Pearl's manager down there. Prior to the season, he was telling me how good he thought this kid was. He was McDonald's All-American. whatever that means. He's been to, like I said, he likes to jump schools a lot. I don't like him taking shots kind of at the coaching staff on the way out the door to the media. I wish he'd leave that alone, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I wish. I think Rylan Griffin probably needs to be quiet on that as well.
What's he doing? He's on social media talking a lot.
He's talked a little bit.
Kansas, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The crystal ball, I think, has him going to Kansas, and everybody's saying that was a done deal a long time ago, which is kind of amazing that a school can openly tamper like that and get away with it.
Yeah. We hadn't done it yet, but I'm assuming he probably will. So we'll see.
Barry, what are you hearing on an inside man for Alabama? Are you hearing anything on that? That to me that's what Alabama needs more than anything.
What's that?
A good center that can play.
Yeah, I noticed they're trying to get the kid from Rutgers. He was supposed to visit Georgetown. He's supposed to visit here. He's a big kid. I saw this morning they're in the Final Four for the kid from Tennessee. So he's a kind of a shot blocker. He can also score, average 11 points a game. So it had, I think, Arkansas, Alabama, and 2 other schools for his services. He's about 6'11", so they'll find the right guy with what they got there. So they're just trying to make sure they get the right fit, a guy that can come in and probably score a little bit as well, which they didn't have that. They don't have that with Wagyu. He's not a scorer.
Oh, no, he can't even hardly catch.
Yes.
I mean, that's where Alabama's played this year was 2 guys that played the inside that couldn't catch. But hopefully they'll get a good center. I think this guy is at Tennessee that left is. I think there's a possibility they're looking at. He's looking strongly at Baylor, but I'd love for him to give Alabama a shot.
Baylor was one. Baylor, Arkansas, Alabama, and maybe it was one other.
It might have been Kentucky.
North Carolina.
Okay.
North Carolina. So,
yeah,
right now.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, thank y'all.
All right, back up to the Yellowwood hotline. Get Tom in. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Barry. Morning, Coach. How are y'all?
We're good. Watching Scotty Scheffler tee off on 18. He's about to collect another $3 million here in just a minute.
That's right. I tell you, that's one reason I wanted to call in and talk to y'all about that. Is he's got a good streak going and he's riding it, and the rest of these people, they'll play and then they'll take off. They play and take off, and then they wonder why that they can't go any better than what they do. And I think it's because of the lack of playing.
Yeah.
Don't you, Coach? I heard Ken Venturi say one time that when you win, you better get on. You better go like Byron Nelson did. He had a heck of a streak going one time.
Yeah, he sure did. Byron Nelson's a great player.
Hey, let me run. I'm going to call back later,
All right,
okay? I got a little mic problem just popped up.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
So your thoughts about that? Some of these guys take a lot of time off, or they take a week or two, and sometimes maybe you need that. I guess each guy needs something different, but Scheffler kind of keeps hitting the pedal, and this is a big pay event. It's a $20 million purse. It's one of the elevated events as far as the money goes, so that makes these guys want to play in these events.
Yeah, it sure does. I think say maybe when you're playing poorly, you want to rest, but when you're playing well, you want to stay with it. That's just everybody's mind and what they think about things. So, Scotty's a guy that probably, I don't know this, but doesn't have a lot of outside activities, and that's all he knows, and he's got a unique swing. And with his feet are quite different than generally if they teach you to play. They don't quite teach you moving the way he moves, and he does. But he's certainly a heck of a player, no doubt about that.
Yeah, so he's just drove it in the fairway on 18. He'll go up there, Justin, and he'll pop that baby on the green. He'll 2-putt, and he'll walk off the champion. But Justin Thomas has moved up to 5th place at 14 under, so he'll get a nice payday. How important was that for Justin to first make the cut, which they didn't have a cut, I guess, in this particular tournament, but to play pretty darn well and end up 14 under. That's got to help his confidence a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to. Yeah, he's been struggling like crazy, and to get 14 under, he's going to be behind the 4 guys that are 15 under. That's one of them falters. One of them, I think, moved to 16. But, he's going to be behind 5 guys. He'd pick up 6 players. Those four guys at 15 under. If they stay that way, we'll split the checks. But checks is not what his. I think his deal is mental, and what he's going to do mentally. And I think he's got the ability to play better than he's been playing. I don't know what happened with him in the pro, but something happened. So we'll see what happens.
All right, let's talk about Bob Prince and Prince, Glover, and Hayes. We'll take this second break.
Well, Prince, Glover, and Hayes, outstanding attorneys that know the law, know the changes in the law. You can go with them and visit with them if you have an accident that shouldn't have happened because things were set wrong for you, or somebody comes after you on the highways or wherever it might be. Then Prince, Glover, and Hayes are the people to visit with. Visit with them. Go by the 701 Rice Mine Road. Visit with them some more, and they'll give you exactly what you need in the way of information and advice. And when you give them the information, they give you the advice. They will represent you and do a good job. 345-1234.
PrinceLaw.net is the website. I always remember, if they don't win, you don't pay. Phone lines will be open 205-342-9904. At the top of the hour, we're going to talk to Allie Wright with 2 Minute Truck. Movers for Moms. They're doing a lot and helping with Turning Point there. They got a big event tomorrow night out at the venue where you can help some of these moms in need. And we'll talk a little bit about that at the top of the hour.
.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
2-time state champion and 2-time NIT champion Barry Sanderson breaks down the latest in sports on Inside the Locker Room on Tide 100.9.
Pressure-treated pine from Great Southern Wood. You want to build the 5-star backyard? There's only one choice. That's Yellowwood. Go to yellowwood.com to find a dealer closest to you. All right, over the weekend, the NBA got started yesterday, 4 games. 4 games each day. We got 3 tonight. We'll talk about those in a second. Celtics blew out the Heat, 114-94, the Heat, without their best player there. The Mavericks got beat by the Clippers, 109-97. Jason Kidd called out the Mavericks, talking about how passive they were, so was not happy. The Bucks knock off the Pacers 109-94, and the Thunder get by Herb Jones and the Pelicans 94-92. Zion Williamson is out. He's always hurt. Tonight, if you want to watch NBA, not a ton on right now sports-wise, unless you like the Braves. I got to see if the Braves are on there. They actually lost last night as well. The Magic take on the Cavaliers. 76ers will take on the Knicks, and the Lakers will take on the Nuggets. I don't think there's been a road game road team in the first set of games has not won. The home teams have won every single game, so that's why you play, to get the home court advantage, I guess, in these series. Justin, are these first round deals, are they the best of 7 or best of 5? So everything's 7 now, Dad. So home court advantage means a lot in all sports, NBA, college, even high school. It's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the playoffs get a little bit old, I think. There's some people, unless you just stay right with it, unless you've got people that you're really interested in personally playing, which, I drop a little bit because I don't have any former players playing and stuff like that. But it's always interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. So tonight we'll see if the road team can win. Look for Lakers, Sixers, and Magic are trying to get the wins there. All right. We talked last week about the portal's kind of been a little bit of a downer, Justin, don't you think? There hadn't been a ton of moving. Nebraska, I saw their coach. He said they did not have one guy go into the portal. He talked about all the great things in Nebraska and why would you leave Nebraska? Because the weather. But he talks about their fan base, the opportunity there. You coached by guys that have been in the NFL, all the things about Nebraska football as to why it would be silly for anybody to leave. But Dad, are you surprised Alabama? Pretty much everything's kind of stayed the same. There's been Jeff Goodman's talking, these guys are waiting on their final NIL check. So I imagine those checks probably won't go out until May, Justin, to keep these guys locked in. Are you surprised there hadn't been more movement in this portal this time around?
Yeah, a little bit I am. I'm a little bit surprised at that. I think they're happier. Probably some of them are. There's some behind the scenes that are disappointed and don't like it, but don't view it, don't talk about it. So it's really hard to tell until the transfer portal gets cranked up good or over with. I don't know. I'm not sure what some of them's thinking is, but Alabama's kind of been status quo. There hadn't been a whole lot said about anything really, except the way the coaches have handled the team. So it's a kicker in has been important for them, as I mentioned this morning, because you certainly need. When you can find a guy that can kick almost half a touchdown, kick 3 points, boy, you're very, very valuable this day and time. And Alabama's going to throw it a lot, I think, because they're used to throwing it in Washington, and they got a quarterback here and a quarterback coming in, a lot of quarterbacks. So, there'll be times that they'll be on the 35-yard line, 4th down, ready to kick the field goal. So, should be interesting to see exactly what happens. Alabama hadn't dropped down much in the eyes of people like I thought they would as far as the West is concerned, because I don't think anybody really knows much about the West. They're not sure about Auburn in football. LSU, they're not sure about. They got a new defensive staff. So A&M, they've got a new coach, and it's a little bit. I guess we don't have an East and a West, do we, Barry?
No, they're doing away with the.
Why I said that. We don't have an East and a West. I got to thinking about, and I haven't studied. I should have already studied Alabama's schedule to see who they go when they go get with Texas and Oklahoma.
They don't play Texas this year, obviously.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, so they don't have Texas or Ole Miss, which everybody's acting like this is going to be Lane Kiffin's best team. Justin, what does it say? Ty Simpson staying. We assume he's going to be the number 2 guy, so he's one play away. I think he's probably looking at this will be Jalen Milroe's last year. So he'll hopefully step right in and take the reins there next year. But he came out, or his dad came out and said, I don't think Ty said it, that he wanted to be here for Coach DeBoer's first national championship at Alabama. But in the eyes of the Alabama fan, I would think this guy's going to be very popular. Because he probably could go a lot of places and start. Are you surprised that he's staying? I'm not.
I'm not either. Yeah. I think you stayed this long, you might as well stay long enough. Why change now? You've gone through the good and the bad, and you've gone through the South Florida game where you played just a little bit and that was bad, and you come back and played better in your practices and did okay in spring games. So I think that he's gone through the good and bad, and after doing that, he darn sure not going to quit. He's kind of a down-to-earth guy with a down-to-earth family that didn't come to Alabama. They think how good, they know how good he is, and I just think they're not big in transferring. I could be dead wrong.
Yeah, well, his dad's a college coach, so I think they understand. And you look at here where Mac Jones basically played 1 year, had a great year, boom, first round draft pick in the NFL. That's where these guys are wanting to get to. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think Justin, that these guys believe in Kalen DeBoer. It's what it tells me. He likes what Kalen DeBoer's selling. He believes in this offense, and so I think it's a good sign and a mature decision for him to stay.
Oh, definitely. I think, too, the scheme-wise, if you're a quarterback, you look at what Kalen DeBoer was able to do with Michael Penix, and we know how Ty Simpson can play. He's mobile, not as mobile as Jalen Milroe, but he also has a strong arm. He can throw the deep ball, and that's what Coach DeBoer likes to do. So I think you're right, Barry. He'll be very much that Mac Jones type situation where he'll step in probably for a year or two if needed and then just go be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. And fans are going to, like you said, really love him and be rooting for him because he stayed and stuck it out instead of in the era of NIL and transfer portal. He could have easily left.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, like you said, expected him to leave. But I think it's a great decision and mature, like you said.
Yeah, he's waiting his turn, and we'll see D-line again. But you never know, man. Guy goes down, and then boom, you're right in there. And that's a good thing for Alabama to have a guy like that as a backup. Scotty Scheffler just won, so he is taking his interview now here on the 18 green. He'll go get on his private plane and load his money up and go home, Dad. So the Gala ended up getting second. Anyway, the Heritage is over, and we'll talk to. Is Doug on with us today, Dad? 8:15.
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah,
He's on. But Tagala at second place, breaking away from those four that were tied, making a bunch of money.
Yeah, I looked him up because he was kind of grinning as he walked off, but he's already made over $4 million this year, so he's doing quite well for himself.
I have an interesting fact for you here as well that I just saw on Twitter. Assuming that the caddy breakdown is 5-7-10 for Ted Scott with Scotty Scheffler, 5 being a made cut, 7's a 7% for a top 10, and then 10% of the winnings for a win. Ted Scott has now earned more money than Rory McIlroy this year at $1.78 million.
Carried the bag. Well, evidently, they're a great combination, and I did like the part of the Masters where he was not going to walk up through the crowd until his caddy went with him. So good for him. So all right, we'll take a break. Yeah, okay. We'll take this next break here and open up the phone lines 205-342-9904. Sort of a slow day in sports, so you guys dial us up, talk about whatever you'd like. You listen to Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Our drive times really have not gotten too much heavier here of late. The trip along McFarland Boulevard from Airport Road across the river down to Jack Warner. That's your normal 10 minutes for this time of the morning. Along 2059 from the 359 to Skyland Boulevard, 7-minute drive there. And northbound Highway 69 from 15th Street to Middlebury Road, 12 minutes with just a couple minutes back up along the way there. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Harris. Hope you're having a great weekend. Coming up Monday on the Gary Harris Show, we'll recap it for you. Alabama baseball versus Texas A&M, Alabama softball versus Arkansas, plus all the other weekend sports, including the NBA playoffs. We'll break it down on Monday's edition of the Gary.
DrMartyPets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunshine in full supply today. The high 68. Tonight fair with the low at 43. The weather stays dry tomorrow and Wednesday. Partly to mostly sunny both days with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 75. The high Wednesday 78. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 42 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Looking to build the fence, the deck, the pergola, the 5-star backyard. You want to use pressure-treated pine from Great Southern. Always remember, if it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it. Over the weekend, Alabama, Texas A&M rained out that on Thursday night. So they played a doubleheader on Friday. I went out to watch a little bit. Texas A&M won 10-5. Then second game they won 18-9. Texas A&M can really swing the bats. But then Saturday, Alabama held on and got a 10-9 victory over the number one Texas A&M and Aggies. So that's a big deal for Alabama. They'll take on Samford Tuesday night here locally, but to get one game there was good for those guys. Auburn, on the other hand, went to Mississippi State. They lost the first night on Friday, were rained out on Saturday, so they ended up playing 2 7-inning games yesterday and lost them both. They had a 3-1. They only played 7 innings. They had a 3-1 lead going in the 7th inning. Gave up 2 runs, then got beat the next inning 8-7. So Auburn is currently now 2-16 in the SEC. Alabama currently 7-11, so they're clearly will get in this NCAA tournament. Now they're just playing. Hopefully they can maybe get a home series there in the first round. So they this weekend, I'm trying to pull up to see where they travel this weekend. Ole Miss. So they go over to Oxford and take on the Ole Miss Rebels. All right, back to the Yellowwood Hotline. Get Tom back in. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, I'm sorry about that. I had to jump out really quick, and but thanks for letting me call back in. I want to talk to you, Coach, and you about Scotty and his itinerary, how much he plays while he's got this hot hand, Coach. And I brought up that Ken Ventura. I was listening. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to somebody else, but I was listening to him, and he said, look, when you start hitting the ball good enough to win on tour, keep playing. Don't go to the freaking house. He said that's the last thing. You go to the house when you don't play good, kind of like you were saying. And and I wanted to get your take on that. Sometimes I think that's what's wrong with the younger crowd. They don't want to grind it out and just, get all they can get, like Mr. Nelson and all those people did back in the day. Do you agree?
Yep. Oh, I do agree. Byron Nelson was a great player, too. So, yeah, I think when you're playing well, you stay with it because sometimes it's a game of, of ups and downs. It can be a game of ups and downs. And I think maybe when you get down a little bit, can get down a great deal, you may want to, revamp and have another lesson, too. But if you're winning, even if you're finished high, you don't have to win. If you're making a bunch of money, I think you need to stay with it if you possibly can. And I think the other thing with Scotty is that from what I can tell, he doesn't have much outside influences. He's not flying here. He's not trying to buy a house down in Jupiter. He's not trying to. His outside interests are golf. And I think that's a little bit of a difference in him.
I also think that he said something at the Masters that I think may be missing, not all, but some of the time. And I think it's a very good competitive character to have. He said he wishes he didn't want to win so bad. He thought that might hamper him at times, but his desire to win is what drives him more than the check, I do believe. Well,
and I think the big factor there is he doesn't show it. I think sometimes you can desire to win. You can yak this and yak about that, but I think his desire to win is hidden. I think he's a great competitor, but we don't really realize it as much. And Ted Scott, the caddy of his, is some caddy boy. He's been a great caddy all of his life.
Wow, has he ever?
And he has made a lot of money, and is continuing to make a lot of money. And they're when he got him, they hit it off together. And I know they're going to say to me, well, yeah, because he's winning. No, I think Ted is the kind of guy that takes whatever comes and leaves it alone and doesn't try to, interfere with anything. So he's great. He's a great caddy.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting to see, and I admire him for being able to be so, focused on what he has to do to win. But that statement of he desiring to win, I thought that was, if you're going to make a living playing competitive sports, you've got to have that if you're going to be very successful.
Well,
and that I kind of like that.
For a long period of time, Scotty was an almost. He almost won, but he didn't.
Right.
He almost got to where he was wanting to get, but he didn't quite get there. But he never. And I think these guys are almost guys, but they stay with it, and just stay with it, and give it time to come. There's some that everybody's got their own personality, their own way of doing things. But I think in his particular case, he liked it so much, and even though he was an almost, as you've talked about, he kept playing.
Now, look, let me ask you this, and I swear I'm getting out of the way for good for the rest of the day. I won't call back. And but I think that this weekend was good therapy for Justin Thomas. Him seeing some putts go in of length, and I think that could. I told somebody yesterday, I hope what we're seeing that he is bottomed out and he's kind of recovering and seeing something good happen will get him going. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think there are times that you make putts and times that you miss them, regardless of how good a putter you are. Sometimes you maybe misread them. Sometimes the wind blows them. Sometimes you just, your putts just cotton picking don't go in, and you make good putts that hang on the edge. But I think after you have made some, and like he did, he went the last 3 holes, the 4 holes, and 5 holes at Augusta and was terrible and got down, but it's going to be helpful to me.
Tom, you still there?
Hello?
Yeah, I am. I was waiting for Coach to finish.
Yeah, he finished.
That's fine. I got it.
Okay, well, look, thank you for letting me call back.
Thank you, Tom. All right. So we've got a message from Chuck Norwood. Ted Scott's mom lives in Gulf Shores. There you go.
Really?
So I'm not sure where Ted's from.
Yeah, he's a very good caddy, and they played great together.
He sure can afford it now.
He can afford. He may be moving down to Jupiter.
Gulf Shores.
If he keeps winning, Chuck, he may go south down there to Jupiter and Boca Raton. The beaches aren't as nice. Those beaches down there are not near as nice as what you have in Gulf Shores, but the status of saying you live in Jupiter. All right, we'll take the break here. We get back. 2 Minute Truck has been an absolutely great sponsor for us the entire time we've had the show. They do a great thing. Movers for moms. They take care of single moms. They've had a big campaign going on for the last month and a half, and they've got a big kickoff deal. Not kickoff, but a big deal tomorrow out of the venue. We'll talk to Allie Wright about that and what I was going, how you can get out and help Movers for Moms. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
To your kitchen with smart, innovative appliances from GE Profile. Right now, save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's the Tide 100.9 30K Workday Payday. Woo! Win cash every weekday 8 to 5. Here's this hour's cash code.
468. Again, that's 468. The code is 468.
Enter that code now on the Tide 100.9 app. Click on the 30K Payday button and enter the code for a chance to win $30,000.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles,
Here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NBA playoffs, 4 series openers, including both number 1 seeds in action. The Celtics, top seed in the East, beat the Heat 114-94. Celtics had 22 three-pointers. Jason Tatum led them with a triple-double, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. The top seed in the West, the Thunder, had a tough time against the Pelicans. 20 lead changes before OKC holds on for a 94-92 win. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 28 points in the win for the Thunder. Bucks beat the Pacers 109-94 despite no Giannis Antetokounmpo. Damian Lillard, though, had 35 points to lead the way, all in the first half. Clippers over the Mavericks 109-97 without their star Kawhi Leonard. James Harden had 28 points, and Ivica Zubac had 20 points and 15 rebounds in the win. NHL playoffs, 4 series openers as well. Rangers down the Capitals 4-1. Panthers get by the Lightning 3-2. Jets outlast the Avalanche 7-6. Canucks beat the Predators 4-2.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the second hour of Inside the Locker Room as we kick off the 8 o'clock hour. I want to thank Andrew Kniffer. He's my Allstate insurance agent. Let him become yours. Out at 4705 McFarland Boulevard, Suite 3 over in Northport. Looking for home, life, auto. Don't just pay the bill. Know exactly what you got, what you need. Andrew and his staff will take great care of you. Give them a call today, 205-722-9201. And tell Andrew you heard it on Inside the Locker Room. All right, we're very excited here. 2 Minute Truck's been a great sponsor on Inside the Locker Room really the entire time we've been on the show. And I talk about what great movers they are for local, out of town, out of state. Anything you need there, these guys take great care of it. They also do a ton. I know Mike and his staff over there do an absolute ton for this community, helping a lot of the schools out. I know they've done a ton for Northridge High School and helped us out tremendously. But they got a big program now going on, Movers for Moms, which are helping moms who suffer from some form of domestic abuse. They have some bins out to collect items. They got a big event tomorrow night. And Allie Wright is with us right now with 2 Minute Truck, who plays a big part in this. Good morning, Allie. How are you?
Good morning, Barry. How are you?
I'm doing good. Tell us about Movers for Moms. I know Mike and you guys have been doing this really every year. It's been about a month and a half. You guys have had boxes out for donations, stuff like diapers, socks, paper towels, clothing, whatever. Just kind of tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Movers for Moms is one of our spring campaigns that we hold. It's an annual thing, and we're so excited to be a part of it, of course, in holding it this year. Basically, we're trying to raise awareness and collect donations for moms in need. So we have partnered with Turning Point, which is a local shelter, really helping women get back on their feet after some form of domestic abuse, just really anything that could have knocked them down. They offer such a great program to help them get back on their feet. So we collect donations for them just to help them out, give a little bit of extra support. The donations are ranging from socks, diapers, paper towels, underwear, hair ties, hairbrushes, anything that you can think of to really support these women and their children. We've partnered with a lot of local organizations as well. Like you said, they've got the bins, and so we're just so thankful for the outreach and the community that we have so far, and excited we wrap it up in about 15 days. So we're really excited to drop everything off to Turning Point right after Mother's Day and just give a big thank you to everybody who's helped us out so far. Yeah,
that's great and certainly neat. I know there's a big event tomorrow night out at the venue where people can bring in donation out there, hang out, have a good time. They bring in donation. I think they get maybe a coupon to get some free ice cream out there. The percentage of what's spent will help these moms. Just kind of tell the listener about what's going on tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. So the venue has graciously partnered with us for Percentage Night. So a portion of the proceeds from the evening is going to be donated to Turning Point. And yes, we're doing a little bit of an incentive. So we're going to have a box and some coupons for free ice cream. If you bring a donation, you'll get that coupon for a free small ice cream cup. And again, that's just really kind of raising awareness for Movers for Moms and being able to give back to Turning Point in a unique way that we've never done. So we're really excited to do that this year.
Tell us what time that is tomorrow night at the venue.
So the venue opens up tomorrow at 2, but we are going to be there from 6 to 8 with the coupons. But, of course, you're welcome to come throughout the day. Again, the portion of the proceeds will be happening all night long. So
I just got a text from your dad that it's Allie Wood, not Allie Wright. Well, I know you as Allie Wright. So it's actually Allie Wood. Now, Dad, this is Bob Wright's granddaughter. I know you played a ton of golf with Bob or whatever. So it's Chris's daughter. But she does a great job out at Two Men in the Truck. And so, sorry, Allie. Tell your husband I'm sorry.
It's fine. He just changed my name in his phone yesterday because my mom made him. So hard feelings.
Well, I have you in there as Allie Wright in my phone, too, because that's how I know you, Allie Wright. All right, Tell the listener if they want to go out to the venue or they want to drop off, what kind of items do you guys need right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, any toiletry item is perfect. I mean, shampoo, body wash, washcloth, bar of soap, anything of that nature. They definitely have a need for, like, dental hygiene, so toothbrushes, toothpaste, floss, mouthwash, things of that nature as well. And then, of course, the basics, paper towel, dish soap, toilet paper, Kleenex, anything like that is helpful. And they're really looking for clothing this year as well, so just kids' clothing, women's clothing, anything like that, as well as socks, underwear, like we talked about, and hair products, too.
So they can just take that to the venue tomorrow, or are there other locations where they can drop this stuff off, Allie?
Yes. On our social media is a full list of the places that we partner with as they act as a donation site. But, of course, I'll be there tomorrow at the venue with the box. We also have a box in our office. And we do have an Amazon wish list as well. So if you don't have the opportunity to run to the store or swing by a donation place, we have a link on all of our social media and our website of an Amazon wish list where you can donate from your home.
That's awesome. So tomorrow night at the venue, 6 to 8, get a little ice cream. You can hang out with all your friends and the Two Men in Truck people there. Dad, you got any good stories about her granddaddy? I know you guys played a ton of golf together. Anything you want to tell Allie about her granddad?
No, he played left-handed. That's bad enough to start with.
A left-handed golfer. So, well, Allie,
he's a good man.
He is a great man. He and your grandmama there. So, Allie, we appreciate Two Men in Truck. Mike and everybody out there has been great to us. Mike does so much for people throughout the community. All you guys do there. And so this is another great thing. So get out to the venue tomorrow. Bring a donation. Get you a free ice cream. Allie, thank you very much for being on with us. Hope everything turns out great tomorrow.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. There's Allie Wood, but to me it's Allie Wright with Two Men in a Truck. So you can call Two Men in a Truck with any questions about all that. If you want to know where to drop off, you can give those guys a call at 205-247-5050. And really, Two Men in a Truck movers who care. All right, that as we get going into football now, this NIL stuff is big. The transfer portal stuff is big. But all that stuff goes away and they'll start playing. Alabama with a very difficult schedule, I believe. They do open up with Western Kentucky. They have one other game, then they go to Wisconsin. Then they have a week off before Georgia gets in here. How important is it? Do you ever get a honeymoon as a first-year coach at Alabama? Is there no such thing as that? The expectation is here, and you got to win even your first year. How big is this first year for Kalen DeBoer and his staff?
Well, it's big. It's about as regardless of who the coach is, a wait and see kind of deal. I think it is good that you play Georgia somewhat early in the year. I think you're better off playing a team that's really, really good early before they kind of get what they want done completely with their team, and maybe you've got your team a little bit can throw them off balance a little bit. So I think it's okay. I think they have Alabama. As I said, Alabama really not anybody that's a clear-cut favorite because LSU was a new coach, and the whole deal. I just you got to be in that top. And I don't know what number you have to be, Barry, in the in the league this year to be in the top 14. I don't know if they stay with 12 or 14. I'll try to get Garth.
It's 12 now, but I think they're
well. I would imagine if I'm having to guess that for sure your top 4 would be in there. Your top 4 teams would be in there. There will be a stink about ties, and if you beat the team that you're tied with, you might be a little bit better off. You will be a little bit better off when they try to select them. It will be very interesting to know who the committee is that does the selecting, because when you get down to 10, 11, 12, there's where your confusion comes. You can probably go pretty much through 9 and kind of know who you're getting, pretty much the correct people. But when you get down through 9 through 12 to select them, you get fans and media people and people upset about, where those last 3 come. I think that's the big factor there. And, who beat who and how much they... And I think the other factor, too, Barry, is how much are they going to go by how much you beat them? What was your score? Did you beat them 42-6, or did you beat them 42-40? I think score is going to be, which I don't particularly care about score, but people will, in order to distinguish one team from the other. They'll talk about score, and it will be some hard feelings, because 13 will be just like Florida State was this past year. They'll be upset.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his demeanor, he's not a real fiery guy, so I don't think he's going to worry about what people say. I think this guy, I don't want to say laid back, because that's not fair, but he doesn't seem to get too worked up about anything. He kind of seemed I think he's a perfect fit for what Alabama needed now. He talked about it being so serious over there. Now it's a little bit laid back. Now, if you don't win, then they're going to say it's a country club atmosphere over there. But it is what it is. I mean, they're going to say whatever. So I think he's okay and he can handle it. Where some guys, maybe these jobs will chew them up. All right, we'll take the break here. We'll get back. We'll get our main man, Doug Bell, in. We'll find out what Doug thought about the RBC Heritage and look forward to what's coming up with the PGA Tour. You're just a Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Still free of any major accidents on the board this morning. Although we do have a few areas of slowing now. If you're traveling down from Northport, expect a little bit of a backup along Lurling Wallace as you cross over the river down to the University Parkway exit, and a little backup.
Pets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunshine in full supply today. The high 68. Tonight fair with the low at 43. The weather stays dry tomorrow and Wednesday. Partly to mostly sunny both days with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 75. The high Wednesday 78. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 47 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Mr. SEC Tournament Wimp Sanderson gives you his excellent analysis every weekday on Inside the Locker Room, right here on Tide 100.9.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. Tuscaloosa Toyota. Go to TuscaloosaToyota.com. Great website there. They got the special going on. It's going to end here in about 8 or 9 days. Buy 3 tires, get the 4th tire for $1. Yeah, that's any tire there. So take advantage of that. Also on the website, you can look at the new vehicles, the used vehicles, schedule a service, rent a Toyota. Order parts right there at the website. But swing by Skyline Boulevard, go to TuscaloosaToyota.com. All right, get to the Tuscaloosa Toyota hotline and get Doug Bell in. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Hey, Barry. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Doug.
I'm doing great. Watched a little golf this morning. Scotty Scheffler won again.
Go ahead, Deb.
Yeah, Doug.
Yes.
Would you help Scotty a little bit with footwork? His footwork is not quite up what everybody says it should be.
Well, he does that little pirouette move, which is it's unusual. Nobody's ever done that. But, man, Coach, nobody hits it better than him. Now think about this. Over the last 2.5 years, right now he's won 4 out of 5, but over the last 2.5 years, he's won 10 times, two Masters, 2 Players' Championships, and then he went back-to-back for the first time in history. Nobody's ever done that back-to-back. And the gap between him, the number 1 player in the world, and Rory, number 2, is wider than it's been in 25 years when Tiger Woods was the dominant number 1. So we need to really appreciate what this young guy's doing. I mean, we haven't seen this, guys, in about 25 years, this kind of dominance on the golf course. We've had some good players. Jordan Spieth's had a run. Rory's had a run. Jason Day's had a run. Dustin Johnson's had a run. But nothing quite like this.
What Ted Scott, who we just learned mother or somebody lives in Gulf Shores, is a kind of, Ted Scott hadn't made him as the kind of player he is, but they're compatible with each other to the point of really being good.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I've always been of the opinion that a good caddy can make a difference, right? But the caddy never hits a shot. I mean, it's totally up to the player. But when you look at what Scotty Scheffler, prior to Ted Scott, who used to be Bubba Watson's caddy, and he carried for Bubba when he won his 2 Masters, he played in 57 tournaments, Scotty Scheffler, and he had 0 wins. And since picking up Ted Scott, he's played in 60 tournaments, and he has 10 wins, 2 majors, as we said, 2 Players' Championships, and what he's done is crazy. So, it's a marriage made in golf heaven. It really is. They like each other. And Ted Scott, I've been out there, guys, where I've listened to Ted talk him out of clubs or talk him out of decisions, and you have to really trust a guy to do that. And he's listened, and man, oh man, the results are incredible.
Yeah, I was saying to Tom, one of our listeners who likes golf, that Scotty was at a situation where he was almost good, but not good enough, and it was frustration about when is he going to get good? When is he going to be able to play? He's almost there, but I think the one thing he did, I think that's right. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that was kind of his feel right now among people. And all of a sudden, wow.
Well, it's interesting. He was knocking on the door a few times, and then he played on the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, if you remember that. And that's, the Americans won that one. They dominated that. And he was the star. He was undefeated. He was 5-0 in that Ryder Cup. And this is before he'd ever won. He was a captain's pick. 5-0, and he beat John Rahm in that Ryder Cup. And so he comes back and makes the caddy change, and it takes off. I mean, it's really incredible. Now, he's going to take time off now. His wife, Meredith, is going to have a baby in the next couple of weeks. So he's not going to – this week's the Zurich Classic, the team deal. He won't play. And he's going to miss the tournament in Texas close to his house, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, I would think, simply because the baby. And then it's the Wells Fargo Championship, which is a signature event prior to the PGA Championship.
Yeah, don't you know they're calling him and saying, would you be my partner down in New Orleans for that play?
I mean, and now, and think about this, guys. Listen, nobody's ever won the Grand Slam, Coach and Barry. I mean, Tiger won the Tiger Slam. In 2000, he won the last 3 tournaments. And then in 2001, he won the Masters. So he had all 4 majors at one time, which is amazing. Jack Nicklaus never won 3 in 1 year. Ben Hogan won 3 in 1 year. That was 1953. The PGA Championship wasn't even really considered a major at the time. It was a match play deal. So he's going to be a favorite now in the other 3 major championships. He's already the favorite. Vegas just made him the favorite here at the PGA Championship. So it's never been done before. Let's see if he can sustain it. Golf's hard, as you know, to sustain a level of excellence for a long period of time.
Well, do Barry and I a favor.
Yeah.
Don't bet on him, please.
Well, I was about to say I think we have a chance. I think we have chances.
No, you can't win all 4 majors in the same year. No way.
I mean, well, the only thing I will say, Coach is laughing.
What are the Vegas odds on that? I'm sure they have odds on that.
Well, I don't know, but they're astronomical because nobody's ever done it. Sure. But he's never won a tournament now after April. So think about that. He's been good, but he's never won after April. And I've said on this show, when you have a baby, the dynamic changes for obvious reasons, and that just, he's so good right now physically. Obviously, nobody's hitting it better, but mentally, pretty amazing when you win the Masters, then come back the next week and win the next event. I mean, that's amazing. But I just wonder, golf is you're on such a razor thin line there. And again, when you have that baby, it affects things. I mean, you want to be home, right? So we'll see if that has an effect. And certainly if he doesn't win the next few tournaments when he comes back, people will be talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about
he does want to be home, but a baby starts getting up 4 times during the night. He may say, I got to go play in this tournament. They need me.
Well, I would think he's got a lot of help, yeah.
Yeah.
What about our other Alabama players? I know Nick has finished dead last, which is it's okay. He just got to get used to playing. And I thought JT moved up. He was 14 under going in today, so he got 5th or 6th place money, I guess.
Yeah, it was a good week for Justin Thomas. Now there was no cut. These signature events are 80 guys, no cut. But I thought he played well on the weekend. They interviewed him on Saturday, and he seemingly feels like things are coming together. So that was a good sign. I mean, he really played well on the weekend. So I finished 14 under, I think. So I think that's a good sign for JT as he gets ready now for a little run here for some pretty big tournaments. This week, by the way, Davis Riley, Crimson Tide, he and Nick Hardy, the defending champions in that Zurich Classic, they'll be back. Lee Hodges is playing with Gary Woodland, U.S. Open champion, who's had that brain surgery months ago. Yeah, and then I thought this was interesting, guys. Eric Cole, who was the PGA Tour Rookie of the Year last season, and Laura Ball is his mom, and his caddy is Reed Cochran, who was a player at Texas A&M, but he's the son of Russ Cochran, who's a longtime PGA Tour player, PGA Tour champions. And Russ is like 63 years old. And Eric Cole's going to play with Russ Cochran in New Orleans. I thought that was an interesting team, to say the least. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
All right, Doug, I guess it was last week. Flushing it, Twitter account, X accounts, whatever, and it may have been reported by other people that Roy McIlroy was going to LIV, $850 million. Was there any truth? I mean, did people just make this stuff up? Was there an offer on the table and he said no? I'm sure LIV's tried to get Roy McIlroy. Where does this thing stand? And was this just all made up?
Well, yeah, the London tabloid who did that's like the National Enquirer of London.
Okay.
And so, they reported that, and it spread like wildfire. And that's when Rory, when he first got to Hilton Head, he did an interview with the Golf Channel right away, and he just said, "Listen, that's crazy. I mean, there's no truth to that whatsoever." But here's what I heard, guys, and negotiations continue, and Tiger's involved in these negotiations as well. I mean, he's on the player advisory board. And I think this is what somebody told me that we could be headed for. We could have two leagues, kind of like an AFC, NFC in football, where you have the ultimate winners meet in a Super Bowl. And they're saying you could have the PGA Tour, and you could go ahead and have the LIV Tour, and they'll figure out the schedules where they won't conflict, where you won't have a big event on the PGA Tour opposite a big event on LIV. And LIV will go to 72 holes instead of 54, so they'll get world ranking points. And it'll apparently they don't want to mesh, at least is what I heard. That's the negotiation right now.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah, and LIV wants to have the team deal. So they're in negotiations right now to work things out. And the Strategic Sports Group, these billionaire guys who Arthur Blank owns the Falcons and John Henry owns the Red Sox and all these teams. They have come up with a plan. They think the PGA Tour ought to play more events outside the United States, and they think that would help TV ratings, interest globally, etc. And then that's where the LIV comes into play, because they wouldn't mind.
I think when that happens, that's what you're doing is the LIV is borrowing off of PGA. I think that they're trying to get as popular as the PGA. They're using the PGA. I think it's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, but that's the news right now, because again, all we hear is negotiations continue, and then Barry, as you said, the story breaks that Rory's going to jump ship, which he squashed that pretty quick. But I'm anxious to find out, and so is everybody else. But I think it's so complicated, because LIV doesn't want to give up what they've established. Although you have a guy like Jon Rahm, who clearly has said he'd like to play in some of these PGA Tour events. He misses not playing with the guys at some of these stops. So we'll have to see how it plays out. I will say this, though. I mean, you have Scotty Scheffler, dominant number one player in the world, and you have Nelly Korda, the number one player on the women's side, who's won 5 weeks in a row, including the major yesterday. So all in all, professional golf, I think, is on the uptick for a lot of reasons. You have two young Americans who are dominating globally their respective leagues, the LPG and the PGA. So I don't know. You got to look at it positive with a lot of positivity right now. Considering all that's going on.
But doesn't the PGA need these LIV golfers, the top ones?
Well, I think so, Barry, and that's why the Masters is so much fun.
Yeah,
it's not only the Masters, but for heaven's sake, we finally get to see Bryson DeChambeau again. We never see Phil Mickelson anymore, DJ, etc. So Jon Rahm, a perfect example. Love to see these guys, but they took the money and ran. But yeah, no, I think that is one of the reasons. The TV ratings, by the way, for the Masters were way down. I mean, they dropped about 25% compared to last year.
You would think they'd go up with people wanting to see everybody together again. Why is that, you think, Doug? People just tired of it?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is, the rift has caused people to kind of lose interest, and some of the big names, Rahm, et cetera, we never see him anymore. And Scotty Scheffler, he does as good as he is, and we've talked about it this morning. He simply doesn't move that needle like Tiger Woods. But that's the big thing, Barry. Tiger raised the bar so high, and that's where all these billion-dollar TV contracts came into play. And now we never see him. Yeah. And so I think a lot of people who love watching Tiger is like, well, he's not playing, well, I'll just go do something else. And at the same time, more people, the game of golf, more people are playing the game than ever before. Young, old, male, female, you cross all the demographic lines. Top golf and all that has helped the popularity of the game. But the professional game, TV ratings are down and things like that. So they obviously need to improve that.
Doug, switching over to football, Alabama picks up a kicker from Miami of Ohio that actually beat Will Reichard for the Kicker of the Year award. So they replaced Will there, which is good. But we haven't seen many guys, hardly any, maybe some walk-on guys that have gone to the portal from Alabama. Good sign that these guys enjoy Kalen DeBoer. It's a different atmosphere over there, but these guys seem to really be enjoying it. Is that a good sign?
Yeah, I think it's a fabulous sign. And I think Kalen DeBoer has brought in his guy, the guy who's the quote-unquote general manager, who's handling all the NIL money. And I think this guy knows exactly what he's doing. In this modern era where you got to have the money and you got to divvy it up. I mean, you're almost like an NFL general manager, Barry. I mean, it's amazing to me, but that's the way it is. And I think they figured out the formula, and I think they've hit the transfer portal.
Whoops. I think we lost Doug there accidentally. All right, we'll go ahead and take the break here. Dad, you with us?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's trying to be.
Tell them about Bryant Bank right here, and then we'll try to get Doug back real quick.
Yeah, I'd like to get him back if we could. Well, it's a traditional banking experience. It's an everyday deal. If you walk into Bryant Bank, you walk into, after just a little bit, you'll walk into somebody that knows you, call you by your first name. I think it's important. Not only that is important, but it's an opportunity to bank around the clock if you need to, because they will give you, freedom and flexibility to have your customers online doing their banking. They do a lot to help the people in the city of Tuscaloosa, but wherever they are, and they're here in Birmingham, Columbiana, down Gulf Shores. So I would advise you to take a look at, not advising you, but I would ask you to go by Bryant Bank and see if you can't open up an account with them. Tell them you heard them inside the locker room. The fraud attempts we talk about all the time that have come about with people and with banks, and they have done an excellent job of stopping those and making darn sure it doesn't happen to Bryant Bank. So the locations are near you, and you have an opportunity to go by and check them out and compare them to what you're doing now. And I think Bryant Bank is the bank for you. So give them a call. Go by and visit.
511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, welcome back to Inside Line. Right back to the Doug Bell. Sorry, Doug. We got cut off there.
Hey, guys. No problem. I was just, we were talking about the portal and all that, and I think some Alabama fans were expecting more action right away. But, it all comes down, Barry and Coach, you guys know, 85 scholarships, you have to kind of figure it out. Players coming, going, et cetera. Got the big left tackle coming back. So he's obviously going to take up a scholarship. So I don't know. I think they're in a good spot. I was glad to see Jalen Milroe get his picture with Michael Jordan yesterday at the race. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah,
it's always fun to meet MJ for the first time, right? And to be, guys, I don't follow NASCAR that closely, and I didn't realize it. With the golf and the rain delay, I just flipped over, and I didn't realize Michael Jordan owned that team that ended up winning. So, and the fact that he was there at Talladega, I thought was pretty neat. And he seemed genuinely excited about that win for his team.
He loves to win.
He won for the first time.
Yeah, he loves to win.
Yeah.
And
so I thought that was neat. And he, the picture with him and Jalen, MJ, I guess, is filled out. I don't know. I never remember him being that big, but he seemed he seemed just bigger physically than the Alabama quarterback, but maybe it was the angle they took the picture or something.
Yeah. Anything else for Doug?
No. You didn't happen to see Joe Ford, did you?
I did, Coach. It's funny. When I'm working, I don't get up there underneath the oak tree and those, the tables there very often. That's where all those guys with the green jackets kind of hang out. So they're kind of out of my.
He was there though.
My circle. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But I did not see him.
Well, Doug, before you go, MD Wells and Aesthetics, tell everybody about those guys.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks. MDWellnessandAesthetics.com. You can go on right now and just check out all the specials that Susan has. She's the owner, Susan Brignett. And again, they've been there a long time. They do wonderful service. It's in Birmingham, 650 Inverness Corners. And Susan will sit down with you. It's all about skin care. And for the men, a lot of hair replacement, weight loss, the Botox, the filler, the laser treatment, all that stuff. Just sit down with Susan. She's been doing it a long time. She's a down-to-earth person, and it's 205-582-9216. And again, guys, it's not just for the ladies. When I'm in there, a lot of men are walking in and out. So check it out, MDWellnessandAesthetics.com.
Justin looked it up. Scotty plus 8,000 to win the Grand Slam. So why don't you go put your K on it?
Guys, let's do it. It's bound to happen sooner or later, right?
Plus 8,000.
Plus 8,000. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. How much you gonna put on that, Doug? Put your 1,000 on there when you 80.
Well, maybe $10. I could probably swing a 10 spot. Yeah. Listen,
You live in
I'm like
Jupiter.
Coach.
You live in Jupiter, Florida. Come on, Doug.
I'm like Coach. I'm frugal.
Yeah.
$10 is about all I can handle right now.
There you go. All right, Doug. When's your next assignment?
Going to New Orleans. Going there on Wednesday, so I'll be there for the team competition. And so I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of a fun tournament. New Orleans is a fun city. The golf course is really good, and it's unusual to see these guys playing a team deal other than the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
So it's a very casual week. So it'll be fun, and we'll see if Davis Riley. It's hard to defend something like that because they played really well on Sunday. It's alternate shot on Sunday. And those two guys got hot last year, so we'll see what happens.
Where do y'all stay? Where do you stay over there, Doug?
Well, the golf course is in Avondale, Louisiana, and TPC, Louisiana, and we just stay in a hotel. We don't stay down at the French Quarter or anything like that. We stay out in Avondale, which is close, about 10 minutes from the golf course.
There you go.
So which is fine with me.
Yeah.
I like to venture down for maybe dinner one night, but that's about all. Listen, guys, I'm boring. I'm old and boring.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
There's a bunch of gambling. You need to gamble.
Go to Harrah's down there. Gamble.
Yeah. See, well, once I go in there, people start bugging me about all my picks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I need to stay out of there.
Yeah, you should stay out of there.
My reputation, my guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, see you guys. Bye.
All right, there's the Roy McIlroy thing. But I bet you he has been offered, don't you think, Justin, to go? If they offered him $850 million, he'd have to go, wouldn't he? $850 Yeah.
He ain't going.
Justin, what? He ain't going.
No.
You don't think he'll ever go?
No.
Justin, you think he ever goes?
I'll go for $850 million.
Do you ever worry about getting your money over the long term? I would. I would.
So what do you? They don't give you a check.
If they give me the money out front, then my tax guy can fix it where I'm not going to lose all my money in taxes. Then just go ahead and pay me.
And we're talking the Saudis here, right? They probably give you like gold bars or something.
Yeah, but if they decide not to pay you going to fight them? Bruno will be sitting outside of your house in a blacked out car with, that would not be good. So I don't know. We'll see if that happens. I hadn't heard anybody not getting paid.
Well, I don't know. I think John Rahm is unhappy being there. They like the publicity that they get. They like the notoriety that they get. And they like all that kind of stuff. And they're not getting that. Nobody's watching them. I think this combined deal of trying to get the PGA and LIV, other people that like golf can call and comment on it, is a plus for LIV and a minus for the PGA. I think they're using the PGA for publicity. That's my opinion. And I don't want them using the PGA. I don't agree with what they're doing myself.
Yeah, I think they don't really care. I mean, they have so much money. You talk about $1 trillion in that fund. I think they just trying to screw with the PGA because they should have been able to find a TV deal by now with all the money they got. Heck, if they even had to buy the time, they could buy it and then sell the commercials themselves. I'm sure somebody would sell it to them, but who knows?
Now, when you get that kind of money, what do you really do with it? Here's what you do with it: you buy whatever you want, a new house or a new car or something, and then you give the money. You give a lot of the money to the people that you love, that are kinfolks or people that you want to help. I would. And after that, what's a bunch of money like that do for you? I mean, you get what you want personally and what you want with your family, and then you get it for your kids and for the people you care about, love. And after that, I mean, it's great to have that kind of money, but I don't know what you do with it.
Yeah, I don't know what Roy McIlroy has turned down, but John Rahm looks unhappy.
Yeah,
to me, because he likes to compete. And I think the 54 holes bothers him, and then kind of being forgotten, I think, bothers him as well. So, all right, we'll go ahead and take the last break here. We'll open up the phone lines 205-342-9900. If you want to jump in on the show with us this morning, we appreciate Allie Wright joining us from 2 Men in a Truck. Remember, tomorrow night, 6 to 8 out at the venue. You take an item out there for the Movers for Moms, and you get you a little free ice cream cup, and you can have dinner and drinks out there at the venue. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It looks like we may get away this morning with a drive-in free of any major accident spots. It certainly has been that way so far as we wind things down along Lurling Wallace. No problems down from Northport, crossing the Hugh Thomas Bridge down to the University exit. You're in good shape there. 2050.
How many Tuscaloosa customers are searching online for your type of business? It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunshine in full supply today. The high 68. Tonight fair with the low at 43. The weather stays dry tomorrow and Wednesday. Partly to mostly sunny both days with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 75. The high Wednesday 78. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 50 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. Yellowwood pressure-treated pine from Great Southern. If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, then believe me, you don't want it. All right, as we roll into a kind of a slow time of year here, Dad, Alabama picks up a kicker. How does that work? They get the kid who wins the award. Justin, they just get it out that they are not happy with their kicker. How does the word get to this guy to get him in the portal for Alabama to be able to pick up? Because I think that was one of the concerns from the A-Day game was concern about our kicking game there. So you go pick up this guy. Dad, Justin, how does this? They get it out, and this kid obviously playing in Alabama would be quite a thrill for anybody. How does this stuff happen? And what went down over the weekend? Justin?
Yeah, from the player's perspective, I mean, obviously you're going from Miami, Ohio to Alabama. So he's looking to, boost his collegiate career so that I'm assuming, of course, you get drafted later on. I sure would hope the other kickers didn't just see this on Twitter and found out, like, oh, I guess I'm not going to be competing anymore.
Well, I guess, they get word out, right? That's why you use the media as to what you're looking for. And then people when you're at Alabama, people start contacting you, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think Alabama looks and sees the best kickers in the country. It's like they're looking to try to find out the best three-point shooters. And they find out kind of where they are, what they're doing. And in Alabama's case in football, I mean, this guy, for some reason, you don't appreciate these guys until they miss, you criticize them. But for some reason, the fans don't appreciate what they have. And this guy, the last 2 years has been terrific. And you need somebody like that. And they don't have anybody that's, they may have a couple, but you might be right. Both of you might be right. There might be somebody in the transfer portal after this.
Well, I don't know if they had any kickers over there on scholarship. But that's one I've never understood that. A lot of times they, make these guys walk on. I would think you would want to have one elite kicker for sure on scholarship.
If you're a good kicker, this day and time, you want to get paid.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the Yellowwood hotline. They had an exciting A-Day game, 35-34 in the A-Day game. I think Manning must have played pretty well.
Oh, he scored. I announced he threw for 2 or 3 touchdowns, Barry. You didn't listen to the opening show.
I'm just teasing. Good morning, Digger. How are you, sir?
My goodness. Did y'all see this game?
No.
either our DBs are pathetic or we got the best receiving core in the country. Ridiculous.
What's pathetic?
Guys, why do y'all do this? Like, do y'all understand that in an 8A game, the defense is so vanilla because you can't hit people? So the quarterback's standing back there pretty comfortable knowing that I'm not going to get hit. So don't. And the Alabama people are doing the same.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that, dear? You know Barry's going to get on you about it.
You got to win some. Holy cow, 2 75-yard bombs for Manning? Come on.
They're trying to boost him up a little bit, get his confidence.
Real quick about Scheffler.
Yeah.
What?
His caddy is they win 2 more tournaments, he gets an $800,000 bonus. The caddy does. So he takes care of his people. Yeah. And the other thing is that I don't know why Bell didn't bring this up. Scheffler's formed a board. He's going to buy a golf course in Texas, and we're thrilled to have him in the Centerplex. I swear.
He's giving $800,000 to Ted Scott.
No, he's saying if he wins 2 more.
Bonus.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, if they win 2 more,
bonus, $800,000 plus.
that's a
Ted
bonus.
Scott gets $800,000 just as a bonus, not counting what he gets as the regular money from him.
Exactly. The magic number is 7 or 8. I can't get it
you
right.
Must be
but
paying
it's 7
that,
or 8 tournaments this year. What do you think I'm making this up? It's all out on the news. I don't know why Bell didn't bring this up.
Do y'all have a quarterback controversy over there in Texas now?
He's getting on Doug Bell.
Come on.
Between Manning and Quinn Ewers?
Come on. Come on.
Was Manning throwing against the third-string defense?
You honestly think Arch Manning is leaving that team? There's no way. Not with the toys he has. No. I came away thinking Ryan Williams made a huge
will be in the top 12?
Do what? What'd you
say,
think
Texas will be in the top 12 next year?
If they're not in the top 12, Wimp, I will be sorely disappointed. And plus, keep this in mind. Ryan Williams made a massive mistake. I don't know what he was thinking.
Coming to Bama?
Catching these bombs. Yes. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, he's missing out. And by the way, I'm just letting you know beforehand, I'm not worried about Michigan anymore. No. I'll let you go.
Thank you, Digger. No, Ryan Williams, he wanted to play against somebody that could beat Steve Sarkisian, so he had the perfect guy right here that's done it. All right, that's it for today's show. We appreciate Doug Bell joining us. We talked with Allie Wright, Movers for Moms, a big event tomorrow out at the venue from 6 to 8, so get out there and support great cause there. The Gary Harris Show is next, so keep it locked in. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports. Have a great day, everybody.